Well, speaking of Star Wars and possible changes and things coming up, we've got good old Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down as the Lucasfilm president. Is she? We don't know. So initially there was a report that came out from Puck News that someone who from within Lucas, the unnamed source, that all these are always unnamed sources, said she was actually planning to step down last year and changed her mind and decided to retire this year.
Hmm.
And of course, then CNN came out and said, "Oh no, that's not true. This someone who's close to the matter." So then they didn't even say it was someone from Lucasfilm. They just said someone who's
Yeah.
familiar with it has come along and said, "No, she's not planning to leave at all." So she's 71 years old. So I tend to believe that she probably is looking to retire. Like she took over Lucasfilm 17 years ago as
Hmm.
basically a favor to George Lucas, who wanted to
Right.
retire.
Glad you
So
said that.
I feel like no, she's ready to hang up her hat and she wants to retire. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think she's ready to step down?
I hope she does step down.
Yeah.
Now, here's why. Because yeah, she's 71. Enjoy the rest of your life, just on a personal level.
Yeah.
Because you're always being inundated by hate. And so that's why I want her to step down, because there's YouTube channels, I don't know, Star Wars Theory, Mike Zero, shit like that. That would
Nerdrotic
be, yeah, nerd rot, that would be forced to actually maybe talk about cool Star Wars shit, because once she's gone, they can no longer just sit there
and blame her.
and hate her.
Yeah.
It's just like the same contingent of people, just people that just fucking make money on YouTube. They just scour the internets for something they can talk shit about Kathleen Kennedy or Brie Larson or whoever the fuck they're picking on.
I'm glad you're bringing up that point because as soon as the Puck article dropped and it was picked up by a bunch of outlets,
Mm-hmm.
all of the YouTubers who don't like her not only came out and covered it, said she's being fired because she's such a failure. So I brought the receipts. Was Kathleen Kennedy a failure at Lucasfilm? And we'll just talk Star Wars. So she was in charge since The Force Awakens, $2.07 billion box office. The Last Jedi made 1.3 billion. Rise of Skywalker made 1.07 billion. Rogue One made 1.059 billion. The only movie that didn't make money and there were a lot of issues was Solo, a Star Wars story, made 395 million. But we all know that like they started refilming it halfway through and there was director's issues and all that kind of stuff, which I
Mm-hmm.
feel was not Kathleen Kennedy's fault. So if you're Disney and somebody's making you that kind of money, you're not going to fire them. Like, plain and simple, that's business. Everyone who tries to say she's a failure is not looking at this logically. They're not looking at the empirical data. I know the Indiana Jones movies made money as well. I don't know if the newest one did. Part of the issue with that is, I'm sorry, no one wanted to watch a geriatric Harrison Ford running around
Right.
pretending to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That was the issue with that movie. It had nothing to do with Kathleen Kennedy. Yes, they made fun of her on South Park, and what is it? Put a chicken in and make her gay is like the joke, and it was just like, yeah, when has she done that? Ray's not gay. There's no indication of that. The female lead in the Indiana Jones movie, there was nothing about her being gay. I don't know where that came from with Kathleen Kennedy with South Park, but yeah, like I don't think she was a failure. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, no.
A lot of money. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up the cold hard cash. So absolutely. But further evidence is Dave Filoni, John Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
All these people are doing what they did and will do, which is good. Mandalorian, anyone?
Well, yeah.
Was
Go
under
ahead.
her. Was under
Yep.
her. I mean, she was the head
And
honcho.
that was her letting Favreau and Filoni do their own thing. She didn't come in,
Mm-hmm.
step in and say, put a chicken and make it gay. She said, do what you want to do, and gave us some of the best Star Wars
Yeah.
TV ever, you
Yeah. I
know?
mean, she has, I don't even say her missteps, but let's go down the line of what people, I'll say, quote unquote, air quotes for those listening, what mistakes she made. Okay. Because people don't like, or her critics like to talk shit about the sequel trilogy. A lot of people do. some people that listen to him comment on the show. But let's
Mhm.
face it, after The Force Awakens, we were all excited. Now, the only critique levied on that was, oh, it was New Hope again. Okay, I'll give you that, but okay, whatever. It was still fun.
Yeah.
If the only critique was that we were treading old ground, oh, okay, okay. All right, then people didn't like The Last Jedi because Luke, instead of being badass Luke, Grand Master of the new Jedi Order, he was old crotchety blue milk drinking hermit guy.
Mhm.
And then with The Rise of Skywalker, the whole Palpatine return things really flipping people out. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a super big fan of the fact that this was revealed on Fortnite, but okay,
Yeah.
they're going for the kids. But okay. So other than that, what missteps? Okay, you mentioned Solo. I don't think we can really blame her, but okay, Solo wasn't great. Other than that, what missteps? What has she done wrong? You
No,
think?
I think the only number one, the sequel trilogy, I have said this before, and yes, I'm not a huge fan of them, and I will say why I don't like them, and it's the reason most people in our age group don't like them. They're not the sequels they wanted. They wanted to see Han, Luke, and Leia running around the galaxy again, saving the galaxy, and all of that. And that is not the story that was written. And you
Now,
have the fact that we can't accept that doesn't make them a bad movie. It just makes it that we can't accept those changes.
and outside of that being somewhat legit, she didn't really make me knowing a lot about the legacy Star Wars and all that stuff. Like I would have liked to seen it go more in that direction, but it didn't. Okay.
Hmm.
Outside of that criticism, the only other legit criticism I have of hers when it comes to the sequel trilogy is she should have made J.J. Abrams do the whole trilogy. She should not have planned to let each director do their own movie in this trilogy. Like it's just that to me have the fact that J.J. Abrams does the first one and the third one, but not the second one. That's just that because the story is not as cohesive as it could be because of that decision. Okay, but again, not worth all the hate she gets.
Yes and no. And here's the reason why I push back on it a little bit. The original Star Wars trilogy was not planned out the way it was. The
Absolutely true.
if Lucas had gotten his way, we would have gotten Splinter of the Mind's Eye as the sequel to Star Wars, which
Crazy.
Darth Vader is not Luke's father. Han isn't in it. Luke and Leia are a couple. They're not brother and sister, and it's nothing at all like what we got with Empire Strikes Back. And God help me, I can't remember the name of the man who wrote and directed Empire Strikes Back, but he didn't do it in a box. So that was, I will say that J.J. Abrams gave us Force Awakens, and he walked away. And what's his face came in, and Ryan Johnson came in and was just basically told, you can do whatever you want. You don't even have to look at any of Jay's notes. And he came in with this attitude of, I'm going to do my own thing. I don't care what he was setting up. I have my own story I want to tell, which good, bad, indifferent, whatever. And that's why it feels disjointed, because it felt like JJ was building something back up for the original fans, and Ryan Johnson was like, "No, we're going to squash that all down." And I really feel like they should have worked together on it. Let Ryan Johnson do what he wants to do, but work with JJ and pay off some of the ideas he set up in the first movie. But
Sure.
that's neither here nor there. So speaking of her stepping down, and we don't know if she is or isn't yet. There's been no official word from Lucas. Hopefully, we'll know something by the end of the week. But if she was stepping down, there are obviously two men out there who could take her place. So, would we like to see Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni take over Lucasfilm, or have them be co-presidents? I don't know. What do we think? Because we already know Dave Filoni is working on a movie. He's doing a Mandalorian movie. Would you like to see them? Would you like to see someone else brought in? I know there's people going to argue there's Star Wars, and what about Indiana Jones? I think Indiana Jones is dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
Like if they're going to,
Yeah. If we're gonna care about people with whips, we're gonna go with Castlevania. Yeah. The whole explorer thing. I just don't get it. So here's what I think. There is one person that I think should be running Star Wars right now. One person. Now, if it's not this person, then yeah, I think we're looking at one of the two here. But that person's me. I should run Star Wars.
You hear that, Disney?
But,
Hire Don.
but if you're not going to do that, on the off chance you decide not to hire me, Disney, then I definitely want to see Dave Filoni. I want to see him be the editor-in-chief or whatever, what have you, of Star Wars. I think he's got the direction, and I think Favreau is very knowledgeable and a great Star Wars director. So I want to see him concentrate more on that. But I think overall, lore-wise, direction-wise, I like what's in Filoni's head, and he's already been the architect of so much great stuff that I definitely think he makes the most sense to be the new boss of Star Wars, if Kathleen Kennedy does indeed retire. But I do want Favreau. I want Bryce Dallas Howard. I want all those. I think they got some really great directors, and so I don't want to see them go anywhere.
Yeah, I lean towards Filoni a little bit more, just because. And I know this is
just look at this picture. If you could, hey, pick one of these guys as a Star Wars fan. Are you going to pick the guy in the slick suit there, or are you going to pick the guy in what looks to be denim jacket with a stupid cowboy hat? Which one of those looks like a Star Wars fan to you?
the guy with the cowboy hat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he is a fan, and that's been proven over and over again. But my other thing with that is Jon Favreau has like given us some great movies over the years, and I feel like if he was in charge of Lucasfilms, his hands would be tied, and he wouldn't be able to go and do another Elf movie or go work for Marvel. Though they're all owned by Disney, so I guess he could. He might not have time to do other creative adventures, but so neither would Dave Filoni. But I think he lives and breathes Star Wars, so I think he would be fine. But that's my take. You heard my take. You heard Don's take. What do you think about this? Is she retiring? And if she is retiring, who should take the reins over at Lucasfilm? Let us know in the comments. It's a nice thing to do. Leave a comment or two. Thanks for watching this clip from the Superhero Speak podcast. And don't forget to watch us live every Sunday night right here on this channel.
While you're here, hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you won't miss out on any of our great upcoming content.
Speaking of content, don't forget to check out our website, superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast, links to our social media, merch, comic reviews, and so much more. That's superheroespeak.com.
Thanks for watching, and don't let your cape be caught in the door. See you next time.